Hey guys, Hermville back with you. Hope you're having a good one. We're going to look at some conspiracy stuff, talking about mysterious structure called Gobeklitepe. I found this TikTok about it. Let's check it out. This is from the Joe Rogan Experience.
There is such a thing as an ancient conspiracy theory. It's this.
Former fraud investigator Jimmy Corsetti, and now ancient site researcher.
You have the site of Göbekli Tepe, made up of sophisticated pillars, almost 7,000 years older than Stonehenge. We're talking about arguably the most mysterious ancient site because it's not supposed to exist. Earlier this summer, I'm like, let me revisit Göbekli Tepe and see what's new there. And I couldn't believe this. There's a gentleman who's an author and also leads tours, and he communicated with me that they're going to defer a full-scale excavation for, quote, future generations. And I'm like, wait a second. Are you serious? And so I started digging into this, and I couldn't believe what I found.
What would be an alternative explanation?
So, okay.
I heard a lot about this kind of stuff. Like, a lot of people in charge of these archaeological sites are like blocking like normal people, regular people from going to see it, blocking like the general public from seeing it. It's weird. I heard something like similar happening in Australia. They're like destroying all these like Neolithic fossils and stuff because there's like some truth they don't want people to see. I don't know about like the original inhabitants of Australia. That's a conspiracy I've heard. I don't know. It was going around Twitter for a little while, but hey guys, I did a little bit more research into these allegations from Joe Rogan's guest. I Googled whether or not the excavation of Göbekli Tepe was halted, and I got this here. The statement that exploration of Göbekli Tepe has been halted is controversial and not entirely accurate. While there have been claims and criticisms surrounding the site's management and excavation efforts, the head of the Göbekli Tepe excavation has refuted claims of suspended excavation. After the death of lead archaeologist Klaus Schmidt in 2014 and the transfer of management to Dogus Group in 2016, there were claims that excavation efforts stopped. Critics suggest that the focus shifted to developing the site for tourism, potentially compromising archaeological integrity with constructions of roof and roads. Official statement, Nekmi Karul, the current head of excavation, has denied these claims and stated the excavation work continues to emphasize that the team is focused on opening new areas and consolidating structures. In summary, while the lead archaeologist maintains that excavations are ongoing, there are widespread concerns and allegations that the pace and focus of research have shifted significantly since 2016, leading to a perception that exploration has been significantly reduced or halted in favor of tourism and development. I saw this on Reddit. And basically saying the same thing. They're trying to build hedges, roads, and bridges and whatnot. It seems like you have been watching or reading comments from Jimmy Corsetti, who has repeatedly been shown to lie just to get more views. The hedges might maybe to stabilize the ground. This is routinely done by geologists in areas where erosion may change in an area. I'm not familiar with the roads being built over the site, though I may be wrong about this. The buildings are for canopies. Stop damaging the weathering. The walkway was added to the canopy structure. Perhaps the canopy needs to be alone. The damage from weathering would eventually cause many more problems. So, yeah, it seems like a bunch of bullshit. I don't know. Somebody would go on Joe Rogan and lie. I can't believe that personally. But I did see this about the Australian excavation here. This guy's talking about Willandra, which is... It's a sequence of dead dunes and drought waterways originally formed about 2 million years ago. For a long time, it was home to a menagerie of terrifying megafauna. Think 3-meter-high kangaroos, enormous emus and reptiles, and Zygomatris tribolus, a wombat the size of a hippo. However, there are many sites in Australia that boast remains of giant marsupials in the lake with marks out. Willandra is the extraordinary evidence of early modern man, some of the earliest outside Africa indeed, some of the earliest in the world. Around the lake, scientists have discovered the first evidence of human cremation. Dating back 42,000 years, normally the world's largest group of fossilized human footprints. Multiple hominins remains have also been found from Mungo man, the Mungo lady, the so-called Garnpung giant. These are some of the most tantalizing hominid fossils ever on Earth, but they also exhibit features that suggest wide migration intermixing between early human species, Neanderthals, Denisovans, etc. They may be challenging the out-of-Africa thesis, so the consensus among scientists, Mungo man in particular, appears to have mitochondrial DNA distinct from that of every single living human, which comes from Africa's earliest population. Mr. and Mrs. Mungo, much more slender than early Australian hominid remains, suggesting there might be multiple migrations to the southern continent. But apparently, they're reburying all these fossils. Why? Politics and guilt at the behest of some Aboriginal groups. The precious bones of the first peoples are being reburied. This is occurring in the traditional way and in secret, the location we've willingly forgotten. As one Aboriginal elder, Ivan Johnson, has put it, it's been a long wait, 50 years to bury our ancestors. On the face of it, honoring these Aboriginal desires might seem just. Australia rightly feels remorse the way it has in the past treated Indigenous Australian history, beliefs, and remains. What is happening at Wallachia perhaps goes beyond redemption because so many questions remain unanswered. Let's look up Mongo Man. His name given to the skeletal remains of an Aboriginal man discovered in 1974 at Lake Mungo in Australia. It's the oldest remains humans on the Australian continent, dating to around 40,000 years old. The discovery significantly reshaped the understanding of early human settlement of Australia. That's wild. Let's see if we can find some. This is Mungo Man right here. And let's look up, what was the other thing they were talking about? The giant, Garnpung giant. Garnpung giant. I don't want to get too deep into this because we're talking about Gobeklitepe. Garnpung giant. Was one of those huge skeletons? Yeah. They were talking about this. They were reburying this. All this other stuff. Yeah. All that guilt and bullshit. Fossil skulls specifically to the Wallanga Lakes Human 50, found near Lake Garnpung, Australia. It's known for its large size and thick cranial skull. WH50 is significant in the study of human evolution in Australia, particularly the context of early human migration. The wolf has large cranial capacity and thick skull bones ranging from 15 to 19 millimeters thick. It also exhibits features associated with Homo erectus, including thick brow ridge, extended nuchal area for muscle attachment, and an occipital bun. The discovery of the skull has been used to support arguments for evolutionary continuity in earlier Javan hominids and later Australian populations. It's considered important in understanding the people of Australia and the potential interactions between different human species. And they want to rebury all this shit. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know anymore. I don't want to get into this because it gets political. I just think it's a bunch of bullshit, but I'll just say that, But yeah, I just thought that stuff was interesting. Just thought I'd do a little aside and talk about this kind of stuff. But let's get back to Gobeklitepe. Let's check out the Wikipedia article. It's in Turkey. Gobeklitepe is in modern day Turkey. The settlement was inhabited from around 9500 BCE to at least 8000 BC. During the pre-pottery Neolithic, it is famous for its large circular structures that contain massive stone pillars, among the world's oldest known megaliths. Many of these pillars are decorated with anthropomorphic details, clothing, and scriptural reliefs of wild animals, providing archaeologists, rare insights into prehistoric religion and the particular iconography of the period. The 15-meter, 50-foot high, 20-acre tell is densely covered with ancient domestic structures, the other small buildings, quarries, and stone-cut cisterns from the Neolithic, as well as some traces of activity from later periods. So I saw some stuff. It's an archaeological museum. I guess they kind of built a museum around it, or you can see it right there. But anyways, prehistorians link this Neolithic revolution to the advent of agriculture, but disagree on whether farming caused people to settle down or vice versa. Gobeklitepe, a monumental complex built on a rocky mountaintop with no clear evidence of agricultural cultivation, has played a prominent role in this debate. What's so special about Gobeklitepe? Gobeklitepe is special because it's the oldest known monumental structure and is thought to be the world's first temple or religious center. Discovered in the 90s in Turkey, it is older than Stonehenge and predates many other major civilizations. The site features massive T-shaped pillars arranged in circular enclosures with reliefs of animals and abstract symbols. I don't know what they think we're going to find down there. It's kind of wild. But they got private Gobeklitepe tours from $1,400. That's wild. The site dates back approximately 11,000 years, making it older than Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids. Monumentality. The site's large size and weight of the pillars indicate a level of organization and labor that was previously thought to be associated with later periods. Religious significance. Gobeklitepe is believed to be a religious site, potentially a pilgrimage center, as evidenced by the reliefs on the pillars and lack of domestic remains. The site challenges the traditional view that agriculture and permanent settlements are necessary prerequisites for complex social structures and religious practices. The pillars feature intricate carvings of animals and other abstract symbols, providing a window to the artistic symbolic role of the Neolithic period. World Heritage Site. Yeah. So let's see what Reddit has to say about it. The quick answer to that changed our view on the social organization and cohesion of groups in that region at the time. Fame comes from that time being a transition from hunter-gatherer to sedentary agriculture. It complicates certain models of how agriculture affected social development. So it's some wild stuff here, man. Yeah, this is crazy. This is from about 12 years ago. So people were talking about it back then. Yeah, that's a pretty recent discovery, only about 30 years ago. That's wild stuff. But I did see this. Graham Hancock, noted archaeologist, friend of Joe Rogan. Let's check this out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Jericho in the Jordan Valley is absolutely intriguing. There's a massive tower there, which again dates back right to the end of the last ice age. A huge megalithic tower with the world's oldest known megalithic stairway that runs up inside it. So what's emerging as a result, if Gobeklitepe hadn't been found, none of this would have happened. But it's led to a widespread interest in the whole area. So while excavation may have stopped at Gobeklitepe,
There's some other areas. There's some areas in the desert, in the Sahara. There's a lot of like off-limit sites, like ancient sites of mysterious origin dotting the world in Africa, parts of the Middle East, all over the place. It's wild stuff. You gotta think who actually built this, and it changes your preconceived notions about how humanity developed, going from hunter-gatherers and whatnot, the questions about agriculture, the culture surrounding it, religion and whatnot. You got this feeling that a lot of this stuff is being hidden from us because there's like the standard knowledge that people develop or the people have been conditioned with over the last few decades. But a lot of it might be bullshit. And I'm willing to keep an open mind about this kind of stuff. But let's watch a little bit more of this.
may have slowed down. It is continuing elsewhere across the region. And to be fair to archaeologists, we need to recognize that.
Is the size and scale of Gobeklitepe unique in comparison to the ones that are around it?
Yes. So far, the ones that have been found, Gobeklitepe is unique. And I think it's clear now that Gobeklitepe itself was the end of a process, not the beginning of a process. It was something that marked, it was a marker. It was something that brought together the best of everything that they'd accumulated and created it in one place and left it there, finally at the end burying it, sealing it as a time capsule, which then was untouched for more than 10,000 years before Klaus Schmidt opened it up in 1996. I can't help feeling that's precisely what Gobeklitepe is. It's a time capsule. It's a memorial to a lost time. And I think that what we're looking at in that whole area is the outcome of contact with an earlier, largely lost civilization. I think it passed on its cultural genes right there in that area.
You gotta ask how they were able to actually develop sites like this thousands and thousands of years ago. This is 11,000 years ago. That's wild to me, and just it challenges your preconceived notions of how people were actually able to develop these things. But like in Machu Picchu and all these other sites with these intricately carved structures and stone statues and what have you. It's how did they make that kind of stuff with tools from 7,000 years ago, or 7,000 years before Christ? It's wild stuff. It's really messes with your head, but looking more deeply into this kind of stuff, I'm still kind of new to some of this stuff. I know a little bit here and there. I pick up some things here and there, but I want to explore this kind of stuff more because it is fascinating and it's better than talking about regular shit on YouTube. At least this stuff is fun to talk about, so let's see what else he has to say.
Of Turkey and down into the Jordan Valley and Cyprus. And not only there, also the Indus Valley civilization. It's incredible iconography which shows a man between two felines. It's a very striking image. You see a man and two tigers or leopards on either side of him, and he may be holding them apart, he may be gripping them in some way.
What is this so Jamie can find it?
You can find it on the Gebel al-Arak knife handle from Egypt. You can find it from Sayburk, Sayburk, in Turkey, the man between two felines. Let
me take a look at that, see if we can find it. This is what he was talking about. This is what Graham Hancock was talking about. Numerous symbolic links between Kadahoyuk, Central Turkey, 7100 to 6,000 BC, and Göbekli Tepe, southern Turkey, 10,000 to 8,000 BC. That's why they probably knew the same or similar astronomical zodiac system, the master and mistress of animals. First, see here for the list known as master mistress of animals symbol from around the Near Eastern region. Above is a 3rd millennium BC example from Mesopotamia. See a guy between two what look like cows. Also a mistress of animals, Potnia Theron, and Catalhoyot above. It shows symbolism for the 8th millennium BC, survived until the Bronze and Iron Ages. We have a master of animals at Sebuk. That's what he was talking about. One of the Tays Templar sites that open at only around 25 kilometers from Göbekli Tepe above, suggests as possible symbolism to survive from the time of Göbekli Tepe through to the Bronze Age and Iron Ages too. If these symbols can survive that long, but so can constellations and their symbols. Now consider that Catalhoyot, there are also 4 kinds of wall relief. There are those wall installations involving repeated coatings of plaster and paint to create symbols with raised surfaces, which are ursine bear, bovine bull, feline leopard, and ovine ram. These 4 kinds are shrined or described by the site's lead excavator Ian Hodder in his book Catalhoyot, The Leopard's Tale. This is exactly what you can expect from a religious system focused on the solstices and equinoxes, with shrines dedicated to respective zoomorphic constellations as predicted by Gerstein 2005. We also have evidence the tower at Jericho is used to observe the summer solstice circa 8,000 BC. See previous blog post. So there's some constellations here. So they knew about this stuff. They knew some basic astronomy. They knew how to map the charts. Map the stars. It's kind of wild. Pillar 43 at Göbekli Tepe that highlights 4 other animal symbols, each next to the symbols that are also known to symbolize the sun in later culture, especially Egypt and Sumer. Circle the disc is an obvious symbol for the sun used in many places, including Egypt. So here's some pictographs, cuneiform. Okay, how they depict certain creatures, certain animals, bird, fish, sun, day. Yeah. Giraffe stone, weight, 3rd millennium BC. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. All this stuff, these are some advanced cultures, man, back in the day. That's wild stuff. Here's the excavation site itself. I'm trying to find some pictures of these animals and some of these reliefs and kind of carvings that are in this, but I'm not seeing any pictures of them. Oh, here's something right here. This looks like a tiger or a lion, some kind of thing. It looks like a warthog. Predator, perhaps a felid hunting a boar. Of course, you see ducks and boar. Here we go. Bees, a fox right there. This right here is the vulture stone. So yeah, they definitely depicted animals on this structure. It's interesting stuff.
Parts were being spread around the world very, very rapidly.
Find anything there, Jamie?
I can tell you the.
So how much of that area where Göbekli Tepe has been searched with LiDAR? Here it is. Here's the images. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, there we are. That's Harappa. That's from the Indus Valley civilization.
Wow.
Man between.
Joe Rogan should stick to talking about this stuff. This is interesting shit. I don't care about his political takes. I don't care who he supports. I just want to hear about ancient alien conspiracy shit. I don't care about anything else.
2 felines.
What do you think that supposedly represents?
Nobody knows what it represents, but what's intriguing is that it turns up in so many different places.
It represents a master of animals, Graham. Maybe do a little research. I'm just messing around.
But I'd like to find just give me 1 second just to find something. I hope I'm online here. I am.
How many of the areas have been searched with LiDAR?
Hang on, Joe. Bear with me. Just
No worries.
1 minute. This is where I have to take my glasses off.
You got to go back and forth?
Interesting stuff. Let's check out Pillar 43 of Göbekli Tepe. Mysterious pillar 43.
What secrets does this mysterious pillar hold at Göbekli Tepe? In the heart of Göbekli Tepe, an ancient temple in Turkey, lies Pillar 43, a standing stone with intricate carvings that have puzzled archaeologists for years. The carvings on Pillar 43 depict a variety of animals, including snakes, foxes, and birds, as well as abstract symbols that may represent constellations or other cosmic phenomena. What's most intriguing about these carvings is that they were made over 11,000 years ago, long before any known civilization had developed the technology or knowledge to create such intricate designs. Some researchers believe that Pillar 43 may hold the key to understanding the beliefs and practices of the ancient people who built Gobeklitepe. Others speculate that the carvings may have served a more practical purpose, such as marking the movements of the stars or predicting the changing of the seasons. Whatever its true purpose.
Okay. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. Structures at Gobeklitepe have also yielded some smaller carved stones that typically cannot be attributed to one period or another. Iconography of these objects is similar to that of the pillars, mostly depicting animals, also humans, again, primarily male. Here we can see, yeah, it looks like maybe a lizard, another panther or leopard. I'm not sure. There's a boar statue with legs. Okay, one of the structures contained a totem pole dating to early PPNB. Reassembled, it is 192 centimeters, 6.3 feet tall, and 30 centimeters in diameter. Depicts three figures from top to bottom: a predator, a bear, a large felid, the missing head, like arms of a human, the figure missing a head with human arms, likely male, and the third figure, the head that had survived attack. Snakes are carved on either side. Jeez Louise. This is some wild shit. I'll have to get some more documentary stuff about these guys. Man, noted in 1963 as part of archaeological survey directed by Halit Campbell of Istanbul University and Robert John Braidwood of the University of Chicago. So, Klaus Schmidt, who previously worked for the Neval Corps, looking for evidence of similar sites in the area and tried to re-examine the location. Described Chicago researchers in 1963, asking in nearby villages about this hills with flint. He was guided to Gobeklitepe by Mahmud Yildiz, whose family owned the land site was situated on. The Yildiz family had previously discovered finds while plowing there. They reported to the local museum, having found similar structures in Navali Kori. Schmidt recognized the possibility that the stone slabs are not grave marks, as supposed by Benedict, on the tops of prehistoric megaliths. He began excavation the following year and soon unearthed the first of enormous T-shaped pillars. Ultimately, he found three tombs in the eastmost hill group, pilgrimage destination. He went on to work on the excavations and serve as the site's guard. Gobeklitepe was dedicated to you. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is wild stuff, man. Yeah, jeez. Crazy, crazy. But, yeah, I'll look into this a little bit more. I want to make a more proper video about this kind of stuff. But, yeah, I mean, and you know anything about Gobeklitepe? Any other ancient sites around the world? Hey, man, let me know. Leave a comment down below. We'll do some research into this kind of stuff. We're looking at some ancient sites. Just checking some stuff out, seeing what's out there. Seeing the truth. Hopefully the truth is out there. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to Google more about this. I'm looking about other stuff. We're going to start. I might make this a series. We'll see where this goes. But yeah, that's all I got for right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll talk to you guys later.